Gemini, welcome back to your new moon in Pisces reading for February 19th and 20th of 2023. You have the Strength card for the coming 2 weeks as a theme. The Strength is about self-mastery. It's about taming the ego, taming the beast within, and healing from it. You can be very disciplined around this time. You can take control. There can be some insecurity, but that's the thing that actually helps you to move towards the healing. Okay. Let's see how that plays out in your next 2 weeks with the Pisces new moon. Oh, you have the moon. So you will probably be affected by this quite a bit. Some insecurities, because Pisces can deal with a lot of internal insecurities, they could come up with the moon. These are fears that come up from deep subconscious place, and it comes up so you can face your fears and look at them and understand that there is nothing to fear. But you have to first look at them. You have to first face your fears. You have your second Strength card here. So that's what's actually going to create this inner strength. The moon is weird. It's weirdness, werewolves, etc. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening here. But there's just a weirdness to it. There's high strangeness, I would say, with the moon. And really kind of dealing on an internal level. Now you have 2 major arcana here, so this is probably felt on an internal level. And Gemini, I think, prefers to deal with worldly things of the earth, right? Earthly situations, as opposed to the more mysterious or subconscious stuff. And of course that depends on your chart. It's not always that way, but I don't know that, I'm not saying that Gemini isn't fascinated by the mysterious. I'm just saying they prefer to deal with worldly situations. The King of Pentacles for me is a Gemini card, and most people would give that an earth sign, give it to an earth sign. But because Gemini are dealing with the things of the earth, and the King of Pentacles is mastery over the physical, for me it makes a lot of sense. And that's why I put Gemini as the King of Pentacles. And so these things are, this is dealing with the ego. It's the Leo card. And the moon is the subconscious. 2 very different energies. And the moon are things that we prefer. I mean, they're in the subconscious because we prefer not to deal with them. They're our fears. But a lion can be scary, and still she's tamed him, right? So this is the taming of the fears. Not a small feat. So how are you dealing with it? Well, you have the 5 of Pentacles. So this is instability financially and physically, but it's also feeling like we're left out of a situation. We feel like we're not a part of something, or we're outside looking in. Everybody has everything and I don't. Or it could just be financial instability at the moment, or physical. Perhaps somebody isn't feeling up to par. And the Strength card is a healing, but it stems from fears. That is the root of the root. And you have the 7 of Wands with that. So this is somebody who, this is very interesting, so through their higher ideals, through a higher perspective, they can deal with anything that comes their way. So if there's competition around, let's say, and you're vying for a position, because of your higher ideals, because you can see things from a higher perspective, um, it could very possibly go in your direction. You could win the position. You could win over other people's thinking to your way of thinking. That's also possible here with the Seven of Wands, the Five of Pentacles. Well, we'll get more information. Two of Pentacles. I think Taurus just had this in the same position. So if it is finance or health we are dealing with here, we're juggling things with the Two of Pentacles. Two is always a dichotomy. It is making choices. It's duality. But in this case, the Two of Pentacles, it's a little bit lighter. It's a little more fun. But I do feel like we're trying to keep a couple of balls in the air here. Also, I feel like it's very possible that you've been doing a lot of physical work lately, and you could be a little bit tired or worn down. And I get that from the Two of Pentacles. I don't know if it's your legs or you've been too much on your feet, but legs and thighs and yeah, that is kind of drawing my attention. Maybe you've had to be in too much on your feet. I don't know. Interesting. And the Seven of Pentacles. So you have a couple sevens too. It's sort of a reorientation period for you. You're kind of looking back on situations and figuring out if you had to do this all over again, would you do it the same way? If you had to plant a garden again, would you use all the same crops? As you're waiting for things to come into fruition, as you're waiting for things to ripen, as you're waiting for things to meet their sort of end game, you have a moment to look back and see if this is everything you hoped it would be, what would you change? What would you do differently? That can be also the moon here, where we're not quite sure how this project is going to go or how this scenario is going to play out, because there is this feeling of kind of waiting, especially with that Seven of Pentacles, because we've worked hard for something, and we've worked so hard that either we've put ourselves out financially or physically with that Five of Pentacles. And five is always instability that pushes us to find balance. So something has lost its balance here. And like I said, maybe you put a lot of money into a situation that you've worked hard for and fought for. Maybe everybody didn't have the same opinion as you did, but you still fought for it. And now you're seeing, or you're waiting for things to ripen, waiting for them to come to fruition. And in that period of waiting, you kind of look back over it and decide if this is something that you would do again, or what would you do differently. There's an editing kind of feel here. But whatever it is, you because of the Strength card, you're dealing with the inner struggle and making yourself stronger from it, for it. All right, so let's get some clarification. So this is a moon in Pisces. Pisces is vague. And these readings feel vague to me. It's kind of like a general feeling as opposed to anything particular. It's very strange. You have the Knight of Swords with this. This is something coming in quickly and can leave just as quick. It's the knight in shining armor that comes in to save the day. But this could just be your quick thinking. It could be your quick action. Or maybe you started something that you didn't see 100% clearly, but you just went for it anyway with the Knight of Swords. They act quick, they come in quickly, and they can leave just as quick. But it does bring in a little bit of aggravation, a little bit of agitation. It stirs things up, I would say. And so you kind of need that inner strength to deal with it. And the moon is ruled by Pisces, and this is a new moon in Pisces. So there is that high strangeness or that vagueness, that things are just a little unclear, mysterious. All right, let's get a clarification card. So that isn't, there's a little more mystery for you with the High Priestess. She is the mysteries. She's your divinity. She's your blueprint. How things work. Things going on behind the scenes. There can be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that other people are not aware of, that you're just aware of. It's a blueprint, right? It's not everybody gets to see the building of something fantastic. They just see the end result, but they don't see the root of it. And again, we have the High Priestess and the moon. So the moon is really prominent in your reading. So there's that mystery, that vagueness, there's that insecurity as well with the moon. But not the High Priestess. She's not insecure, not at all. She holds the secrets. She's got the blueprint. She knows what the deal is. And that could be you. So other people might be fearing this or wondering, or how's it going to turn out? I don't know. But you have that. You have the High Priestess with you. So that means you have an intuitive feeling about it. You just feel it. You just know it. You maybe can't explain it. But that's part of the reason why you have the upper hand here. If you're listening to your intuition, you're following into your intuition, you have the upper hand. I think you kind of, it feels to me, of course you're Gemini, right? So you have two twins, right? And they're kind of pulling you in either direction. And so you can have these fears that come up and then you deal with them with your intuition. And it just seems to be like a little bit of a yo-yo effect. And that's why you have the juggling going on as well. Albeit there is some financial cards here. So you could be juggling finances too. But you go from a 5 to a 7. So that's not bad. But that leads me to believe that it wasn't everything that you had maybe hoped for, and now you're saying, okay, what can I tweak? How can I get that 10 of Pentacles? Or even that 9 of Pentacles, where I feel firm and secure. Right? So 7 is still kind of editing it out. This is nice because you're coming from the Moon and the 5 of Pentacles to the Wheel of Fortune. And that's always a change of luck. And with that 2 of Pentacles there as well, it has to be for the better, especially with that 5 of Pentacles. So it's a change of luck, the Wheel of Fortune. You can be on the top of the wheel, you can be at the bottom of the wheel. For my feeling here, you're moving towards the top of the wheel because with the 5 and the 2 of Pentacles and even the Moon, I think you could have been a little bit on the lower rung, and now you are moving to something a little more fortunate. This is a twist of fate. And it's good fortune. In this case, I think it's good fortune. Life is a gamble. What you've done is a gamble. I think that's grand. I think that's what we're here to do, is to test things out in life, to have experiences. And you've made it an experience for yourself. And now you kind of get to learn about it a little bit. Nice. But it seems to me like it turns out in your favor in the end, right? With the tarot, with the Wheel of Fortune. And I think even if you do some tweaking, even if you do change some things here and there with that Seven of Pentacles, that also can make things go in the way that you would like them to go. So what does Spirit want you to know? The Four of Swords. You need a rest. After all of this, and especially with the Five of Pentacles, and again, I feel like there is a physical thing going on here, like because you have also the Strength card, which is healing, and that is the main theme here. And so there's this inner strength that you found, but you've gone through quite a bit to get there. And now, before you move on to the next phase, right, to the next turn of the wheel, you need a rest. But I think you'll still be planning. Because the Four of Swords is about a physical rest, but the mental keeps going. And Gemini, huh? You are highly mental. So I do feel like those wheels will keep spinning. And you will either plan for your next situation, or you'll think about those things that you want to edit and change while you have a bit of a rest. And again, I am going to say legs. I don't know why, but there can be a situation with you that maybe they're sore. Maybe you just need to put your feet up. Maybe they need to be elevated. But I feel leg situation here. So a good rest would be necessary. Mental rest would also be great, but maybe you can do some small meditations in between or something, because again, you can't spend your life in meditation. You have things to do. And so just a bit here and there would be great, and anytime you can find a place to sit down and relax a little bit would be also very good. But I think with the Four of Swords, you need a bit of a mental rest before you can, I would say after these 2 weeks, you probably will need, or towards the end of the 2 weeks even, because here we're editing. Maybe you can find some rest then. Okay, Gemini, it turns out well for you. No fears. Or at least look them in the face, right? You know what you're doing. Thank you for listening. I'll be back in 2 weeks with a full moon reading. And I do dailies. And this week I am putting out the journaling video if anybody's interested. Thanks for listening. Take good care. Talk to you soon.